Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ask an Action Coach. So we are on day 2 of step 11 in Napoleon Hill's Steps to Riches. And this is all about the subconscious. And Jackie, I heard you saying something about how positive and negative emotions cannot occupy the mind at the same time. I was hoping you could explain what that means.
Absolutely. So, really try and do that, right? If you are having a negative emotion and you start to change it to a positive emotion, try and see if you can have both emotions at the same time, because I think you're going to find you won't be able to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because negative emotions, you'll start to do this and it'll be heavy and it'll be those kinds of things. And then if you start to think positively and have some positive emotions, you might sit up straighter, you might smile more, you might think clearer, all those things. So if you're doing that and you're controlling that, you can't let negative emotions in because they can't occupy your brain at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It makes me think of when you're having a conversation with someone and they're very, very negative about something, and then you kind of help them turn it around and it turns positive, and then it always just seems to get better from there.
Yes. So that is exactly right? You can't have the both of them there. So what we can do is choose. We get to choose. Even if something happens to us out of our control, we get to choose our emotions, right? So, if we're going to do that in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about the 7 positive major emotions that we can draw from if we need to figure out some emotions quickly, right?
Okay.
So think the emotion of desire, the wanting. So if there's something we want and we focus on it and we are singularly focused on it, it's amazing how the steps we take will get us closer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The emotion of faith, having faith in us, ourselves, having faith in others. Or if you are so inclined, faith in a higher power, right? The emotion of love. And this one I thought about a lot this morning for some reason, but it's coming from a place of love. If we come from a place of love, that versus some of the negative emotions we're going to talk about, imagine how the trajectory is going to change, right? If somebody's saying or doing or thinking or something in a negative space, and if we come at it from a place of love, we could potentially change someone's life. Really, right? Change our own lives in the process. The other emotion is the emotion of sex, or the emotion of attraction. And that emotion that you feel when you're attracted to another human being, right? The emotion of enthusiasm, right? They say enthusiasm is catchy, right? So you can draw from enthusiasm in order to start to put positive thoughts into your inner audience. The emotion of romance, what that feels like when you're, especially a new romance, right? And the emotion of hope. So those are some positive emotions that he suggests that we can draw from. Then there are 7 major emotions that we should avoid, right? The emotion of fear. Fear is a big one, and a fear is such a limiting emotion. And so one of the things I've started doing is just really, when I'm feeling not my best, I go, where is that coming from? Is it from a place of fear? Is it from a place of love? More often, if I'm not feeling good about it, it's not coming from a positive emotion. It's coming from a negative one. There's the emotion of jealousy, right? How can jealousy kind of, think about the squirrel in your head, the nonstop thinking about it, how does jealousy affect you versus, again, coming from a place of love, for example, the emotion of revenge, right? That's a really interesting emotion, is to getting back at someone or something for something that's happened. That does never serve anybody, really. The emotion of greed, right? Emotion of superstition. I found that one very fascinating, right? And it's right. I look at that, so when you think about superstition, what do you think about, Joseph?
Ghosts.
Ghosts, right? And
Yeah.
think about ghosts of the past.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I look at that, ghosts of the past. And then the emotion of anger. How often do we let our emotions of anger help dictate what we're saying to our inner audience? So those were 7 emotions that you can draw from and 7 emotions to avoid. But remember, positive and negative emotions can never occupy your mind at the same time. So choose positive. So you're either successful at something or you're learning something. You're never a failure, right? This happened. What's the lesson I need to learn? This happened. How am I going to act, think, and react? Versus it's easy to take on those negative emotions, but remember, you have the choice.
Yeah.
Choose wisely, my friends.
Thank you so much for that, Jackie. And if you're out there and you would like to have a longer conversation with Jackie, just let us know. We are happy to set that up. And as always, if you have a question you'd like to ask an action coach, she's here. We will see you next time.